Have you bought your first set of beadlock wheels, or maybe you're considering buying your first set? I guess the next step might be knowing what's involved in getting these mounted on your tires. Well, by the end of this video, I hope you find yourself confident in just that. Before I get into the tools needed for this job, let me ask you a question. Have you actually got this job quoted by a shop yet? If so, leave a comment as to where you live and how much that quote was for down in the comments. Let's get into the nuts and bolts of this job with a list of some materials and some tools that are going to make this job easier. The first thing I'm going to say is to get yourself a bucket. I prefer a 3-gallon bucket. You can also use a 5-gallon if that's what you prefer. I just like the height of the 3-gallon. Next thing you're going to need is some tire balance beads. Obviously, these will not be needed if you are going to have a shop dynamically or static balance your rims and tires after this is put together. But call around and make sure that you have a local shop that will do that for you, because some shops do not handle bigger tires like these 40s, so I've found these balance beads to work out well. There are charts on Google as to how many ounces of beads you want to use for what tire size you are running. I will link a link to actual tire balance beads below, but for me, I just used airsoft BBs that I purchased from a big box store. Number 3, you're going to need a lower torque impact gun. You don't need this, but it makes the job a lot easier for running those bolts in, a lot less time consuming. You're going to need some anti-seize. I prefer the copper due to it holding up to water better. You're going to need a good torque wrench that can do 20 to say 40 foot-pounds well. You're going to need a valve stem core puller to pull your valve stems out, and also an installation tool for those valve stems. And this tool that I'm showing you here, I'll actually go into more detail how this works later on in the video, and you're going to want to see that because this tool can actually be used on the trail and could save your day. So keep watching for that. Okay, the first thing we're going to need to accomplish is putting this rim and tire together. And unlike a standard rim like this, where you would want to have the tire on inside of both lips of this rim, on the bead lock, we actually want to end up with the back side of the tire on the inside of the rim, and we want to have the front side of the tire sitting on the outside of the rim, so it's going to mate on this front face here. So just go ahead and get your tire set on the ground. I usually put a piece of cardboard or foam underneath the rim just to protect it from getting damaged or scratched. And on the back side of this tire, I've went ahead and wet down the bead lip with soapy water. You can do that with a rag and soapy water or with a spray bottle. Then go ahead and take that wet side and get it laid down on the rim halfway, like that. Now you're going to lift on the tire, and actually the most shallow point on the rim, which would be here, you're going to want to shove the bead edge into that edge. Like this. And then I just work my knees back and forth, pushing that tire down on the rim. There you go. Now if you stand up this tire and rim, it should look just like this, where the rim can actually pull through most of the way. So this back side of the rim is going to sit on this bead ultimately, and then the outside is going to sit on the outside of this rim. So I want to show you this tool for installing valve stems, even with the rim and tire put together. So even if you forget to install that valve stem before putting your rim and tire together, or if you damage one of these out on the trail, this tool is going to get the job done. So you're going to be installing a valve stem like this, and what it does is that shoulder actually compresses through this tube as you push it down. It's a cone, and this is super slick. I do add a little bit of that's what I'm looking for.
Lubricant?
I do add a little bit of a lubricant around this edge to help it slide through. It does work even if you don't have that, just when I'm in the shop, just to make the job easier. So this comes with this rod right here that is threaded on this end, so that just threads right onto that valve stem like this. So you just thread that all the way down. And then the hole in your rim, you're going to push this shorter, smaller end up to that, and you're going to push this down through that until you feel it pop through, and then you're going to actually pulling this back through, and you get it to seat where that shoulder is. So the next thing I do from here is to get all my hardware ready. So I put all my washers on my bolts and apply anti-seize to all my bolts and lay them out on a piece of cardboard. Here is where you will see me put the rim onto that 3-gallon bucket. I like this for the height. And then you're going to watch me put the beads into the tire before setting that front edge up. For these 40-inch tires, I think the called for amount for these airsoft BBs was 14 ounces. Next thing you're going to need to do is to get the front edge of that tire sat down around the front edge of the rim. Sometimes this falls into place, but generally you have to take a hammer and get this to seat down. You just want to be careful not to hit that rim. It is aluminum, and a dead blow works best for this. That's not what I'm using here, but that's what works best. Now we're going to get our beadlock rings set into place. Just eyeball those holes lined up with the threads below. Make sure all of your bolts you get started by hand. Usually I try to turn these a 5 to 10 count in my head to make sure that thread is not cross-threaded before you start tightening things up. This next step I found to be very helpful for my brain. I put a piece of tape on basically north, south, east, and west corners. So that way as I go around and make my pattern for tightening, I don't lose track. At this point I've got all my bolts in finger tight, and I'm going to run my bolts down now with the impact gun set on level 1. And I'll make a pattern here starting on the number 1, going directly below that to the 1 in the bottom, then the 1 in the right, then the 1 on the left, and then do the 2s, the 3s, the 4s, and so on with that same pattern. And I'll do 3 passes like this. And this is where the impact is going to come into play to make things a whole lot easier. You're not having to do this by hand. It takes a long time otherwise. I'm going to go ahead and show you another recording of me explaining that pattern. That way, in case the first time I just explained it didn't make sense, this will make sense for you. Starter, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way around until you get back to that starter again. All with this gun at number 1. This is just the standard 3/8 drive, so this is not a very strong impact. And I'm going to start over with that mark and run it till it clicks, a couple clicks. All on that starter with the blue tape. Now I'm going to move over the one to the right of it, which I call number 1. Now on to number 2. Now on to number 3. Now on to number 4. And now on to number 5, which is the one right before the start. Now I'm back to that starter, and that starter is actually loose right now. I'll run the same thing back around again one more time, and then I'm going to move on to the torque wrench. 5, 5. Alright, now I'm going to set my torque wrench to 20 foot-pounds and start there. These call for 30 foot-pounds, so I'm going to run this down all to 20 foot-pounds, and then I'm going to come back through and do 30 foot-pounds. Okay, now that we've got all our bolts torqued to spec, it's time to go ahead and add air. I do have the core center pulled out of this rim right here. This is going to allow the air to rush in better. This is why we want to have this on the bucket too, because it allows this tire to kind of sag down on the back of that rim, creating contact. If you do start to fill this and you hear the air hissing out the backside, you can kind of push down on the rim to help seat that down. So I'm going to try to put air in this. Usually it takes around 40-50 psi before you hear this thing pop.
Hold on. Jeez! I did not expect that. I was farting around with the valve stuff.
With this being a 40-inch tire, this does take a few minutes to get this aired up. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off and insert my valve stem core center, this little guy right here, with my valve stem tool. All right, call that complete.